Even though Holloway is winless, his consistency has placed him ahead of the other two frontrunners in the points. Lowe and Shepard are on the hunt and looking to retake the top spot at the tight confines of Lanier. We'll see if they can manage that as we get ready to watch round 5 of the Bootleg Racing League's Grand National Series, presented by the Cruise Shop. And you'll see it all live here on the Global SimRacing Channel. Hi, I'm Joe Peak, and with me in the booth is Jeff Smith. Behind the scenes is our director, Sean Crackers Ambrose, and he's using cameras provided by Dougie Beard. Jeff, Lanier has seen quite a few different iterations of itself, from a dirt oval to a paved oval, and, well, I guess just an open patch of pavement used for all sorts of motorsports. Tell us a little bit more about the track itself, though.
Yeah, I love this track. Pretty much every series on the oval side goes here. It's about a quarter of a mile, a little over a quarter of a mile. It's got 5 to 11 degrees banking. It's a tough track to get the hang of, and it doesn't look like a full circle, but it feels like a full circle when you're down there trying to wrestle that wheel all night. And these guys are going 100 laps here. That's gonna be tough.
Yeah, no doubt about that. It's a pretty short track and tight confines for sure. Now, as always, we want to remind you about our sponsor, the Cruise Shop. The Cruise Shop has been in operation since 1986. They are a team of highly experienced travel agents that have a huge passion for travel. They specialize in cruises, all-inclusive resorts, escorted tours, Disney and family travel, groups, honeymoons, and weddings. They would love the opportunity to help you plan your next vacation. Give them a call today. That's at 260-755-6125. Or you can visit them online. Their website is thecruiseshopfw.com. The Cruise Shop is dedicated to fulfilling their clients' dreams one destination at a time. Let's take a look at the championship now. I mentioned a little bit in our intro about how things are shaping up there, with Mike Holloway up at the top of the points chart. James Lowe and J.R. Shepard share 2 wins apiece in our first 4 rounds. Holloway with none, but still an average finish of 4th, interestingly. That's how good he's been. Of course, you see Robbie Robinson and Brad Speidel pretty close back there, too. So essentially from 3rd down to 5th are in a very, very tight fight to try and sort things out. But we could all swap around after tonight as well. Tonight's race specifically, though, Jeff, why don't you give us a few of the race details?
Yeah, this is round 5 of 11 for the BRL tonight. 100-lap race. These guys don't get tires, which here, with that 11 degrees banking, it might not matter. We've seen these guys week in and week out be able to control and manage the tires, so I don't think that's going to be an issue. The thing is they do get one fast repair, and there is not a lot of room to move around here. So if something does happen, they will have a chance to reset and regroup. And then the cool thing that I love about this series, Joe, and that's it, back to NASCAR roots, and that's the inversion. Like last week, James Lowe had a terrible, terrible week. So I think he's just on the outside of the inversion. So he's not going to get that, but like Holloway has been consistent top 5, and Shinosky has been consistent top 5. So these guys all got to start from 8th on back and work their way through. And here, passing's going to be at a premium.
Yeah, I don't doubt that. Even with the progressive banking that they've got on this circuit, they do have decent track conditions, although it's a little warm for nighttime. It's still going to be cool enough. It's 87 degrees Fahrenheit on the track surface, of the sun already being down anyways. That's not going to heat up really all that much anyways. As we continue to watch them work through the warm-up, James Lowe actually is looking pretty good. So when he does grid up in the back in that number 99, he's going to have a lot of speed to try and work through the field. The question is, can he keep the car clean and get to the front without abusing those tires? He does have J.R. Shepard to worry about as well, with him looking like he's the second quickest right here today, which that's becoming a trend in these K&N cars, these Grand National cars here, Jeff. It seems like Lowe and Shepard are often the ones to beat.
Yeah, and Shepard's going to be hungry tonight, because in the race before this, as you guys know, they all run the modifieds for 60 laps ish before this race, and J.R. Shepherd was out early, so he's going to be itching to get back into it. And we watch these guys. I've been watching these guys at practice, and this track is super, super loose tonight too. So Lowe is going to have a fun time to get through this pack, and it's going to be interesting. He got taken out really early last week, so he's going to be itching to get back into it.
Looks like we've got our pre-race interview here with us. Mike Allen joins us in the booth before this race gets going. Mike, welcome up here. We've been talking a lot about this track eating up tires, being tough to pass, and also just being sort of tight confines. So are you at all concerned going into this race about trying to make overtakes?
Yeah, it's always tight here. It's mostly a one groove track, especially with this new tire model. First few laps you have to really be careful and not let it get out from under you.
Now, in some of the past races, even though we started out without a single caution in the first round for this Grand National car, we've seen a spate of them in a couple of those races. Do you feel like that's going to up the pressure for drivers to try and make risky moves and lead to a sort of cautions breed caution situation?
Well, I think it can be like that, but you just, like I said, you just got to be careful those first few laps and let the tires come in, and I think we do a good job tonight.
Sounds good. We do have an 18-car field, so it's still staying pretty healthy, even though we're getting to just about halfway through the season. Are you happy with your results so far? Are you aiming for more? Have you met your goals?
No, hadn't had much luck this year. Some of it's my own doings, but just got to keep digging, do the best I can, and maybe it'll turn around here tonight.
Well, in that case, what's your prediction for tonight, or at least what's your goal?
I'd like to get into the invert and be even nicer to get in the top 5.
All right, well, we'll look out for you on that. Best of luck, and hopefully we'll get to talk to you some more.
Yeah, I hope so. Y'all guys do a good job like you always do. Thank you.
That was Mike Allen. Thank you very much for the kind words from the number 59 driver. Haven't seen a change up at the top of our timing sheets. Mike Holloway, our leader in the championship, is actually within 17 thousandths here of James Lowe right now, while Shepherd is within 11 thousandths. So very, very tight up among the top 3. There you see the Plains driver still kind of sitting around in his pit box. So he seems pretty happy with how things are. They don't have to tweak the car with this being a fixed setup, Jeff. So for the drivers that do a couple laps and then go hang out in the pits, is that just kind of to mentally prepare yourself more?
Yeah, I think that's just to get yourself back in the rhythm of running laps, especially in this car, because this car handles way different than any other one. I can personally say that this car, especially on these short tracks, man, it is a beast to handle. So, and once they put that new tire model on, it just changed the game so much. Like I said, watching these guys, I mean, exit and entrance, they are loose.
Yeah, from my couple times that I drove these and trying to put laps together for some of our track guides, I can concur on that one. I certainly found it a tricky one to try and get some laps down. So we see them continue to put rubber down. Speaking of, that line really starting to blacken up, even in just the warm-up here that we've had, Jeff. So I don't know. Do you think we can get a high line coming in if they burn out that bottom line enough, or does it just not seem feasible?
I think it's going to take a lot more guys going up there than what I see in practice. I don't think there's going to be enough to get up there and make a line. I'd love to see an extra line, because if we don't get that second line moving, then it's going to take, I guess I'm kind of on the fence on this, honestly, because if we don't get that upper line going, then there's going to have to be some moving to get some positions, and it makes for some interesting racing.
So you're saying we might see the chrome horn tonight?
Oh, yeah, there's going to be chrome horn everywhere. It's going to be like Oprah. You get the chrome horn. You get the chrome horn.
Oh, well, hopefully we won't get too many flared tempers out of that. I know they do eventually put the smackdown from the stewards if they find there's too much of that. So don't want to see anybody wind up with a penalty. I do believe we had at least one for Ruben Altice. Not sure if it was a penalty or warning. I need to double check on that. Looks like it was a warning. Yeah, for aggressive driving, which is what that chrome horn would fall under, especially if you spin somebody. We see Shepard in the 98. Just to make life confusing, our top two in the series lately have been the number 98 car and the number 99 car, which from the distance of the booth, at least where I put my virtual booth, is far enough away that if you're not looking closely, of course, that can get confusing.
Also, I'll be curious to see what Todd Liston does tonight. He's riding the momentum from last week. You know, he did have a slip up there at the end of the race, and it ended up costing him. But he led everything, and he ran away with it. So, can we see that again tonight, or will he get caught in a wash? He's going to start be 7th, and he's going to have some traffic to get through.
That's Bruce Pearson we see on screen in the 96 there. And he's being followed by Liston in the number 87, the darker blue car that you see behind him. Right now, Liston's not really showing a lot of speed, though. He's down 13th in the warm-up. Again, you can't buy into the warm-ups too much, but it does give you a hint of who can manage to find some pace. We've only got 1 minute left, so we're running out of times for drivers to get themselves accustomed to this track. 100 laps that they're going to have to be racing out here today. And again, they are not allowed to change tires in this series. They try to run it like real short track racing where tire changes are a rarity to try and force drivers to really hold on to things and be able to manage the car underneath them.
And I think that's why I love this series so much. You know, the local tracks are near and dear to my heart. I've been around a local track my entire life. Literally since 3 days after I was born, I've been at the racetrack. So that's why this series rings so much to me, and I really, really love it. And these guys do a great job.
Definitely go support your local short track if you've got one near you. Make sure and go watch some real life racing. See perhaps some of these K&N cars, give a go around them. Some of the modifieds that they race. Of course, they also have a street stock series that they run here for the Bootleg Racing League. But right now, we're going to be focused on the Grand National Series because the warm-up is over and the grid is set. It is going to be Lowell Jewell, the boss man, they call him, is starting on the pole with that regrid. Justin Morton will be second. He actually won in the modifieds just a few minutes ago before they came in for the practice here. Tim Shinoski will be starting in third with Robbie Robinson in P4. The first of our drivers that are fighting for the championship up at the top of it, regrid in fifth. Mike Holloway back there. Todd Liston will be starting in at 6th. That should give him at least a little bit of track position. J.R. Shepard in 7th, and then Ruben Altice will be starting in 8th. Brad Speidel in 9th, and outside of row 5 has Joe Segala rounding out your top 10.
11th will be Donnie Moore. 12th will be Austin Belkey. Mike Allen 13th. John Hine will be 14th. Kurt Smith will be 15th. Bruce Pearson will be 16th. James Lowe starting 17th tonight. That's going to be rough. And it looks like Jeffrey Harden is going to be rounding out the end of the field here as he pulls onto the track.
Yeah, it looks like we'll have all drivers starting. Over 18 that have signed up. Already the pace car is off. The Mustang is going to lead them around one more time. They get 2 warm-up laps here, and then we get going. Let's see how much green flag racing we can get today. Who can handle these cold tires? Not seeing anybody really weaving them, trying to get them up to temperature, hoping that some of them are maybe getting on the binders, getting the brakes to try and get some heat in there. As the pace car pulls in, Lowell Jewell has control of the field. Green flag is out here for round 5 in the Grand National Series, but it is a huge jump around the outside as Justin Morton immediately into the lead. Behind them, it is clean through turns 1 and 2 down at the bottom side. Tim Shinoski and the 07 He's managing to slide into third as he now gets in front of Robbie Robinson.
And Morton was actually the one that had the most success in the modified race prior to this. So he'll be interesting to see if he's able to ride that momentum throughout this race, as he evidently did on the start.
And Holloway manages to get up to fourth now, but he's being chased by Shepard. Remember, Shepard in third in the points, so he wants to finish ahead of Holloway at the end of this race to try and make some inroads and get ahead of him, not just win races and then have a bad one the week after. So right on board with a third-place driver, Shanoski. He's hunting down Lowell Jewell, trying to see if he can take that second place away. That's Holloway that we see under his gearbox. Actually, Lowell Jewell under attack as Shanoski manages to get underneath him.
Or no, that would be Speidel. Speidel around on the front stretch.
He gets it going, no caution. I think that was on the back stretch. So we'll come back to that replay in a bit. Right now we're still racing under green. Morton just dashing away with that lead. He's already got a second over Jewell, who has not given it up. And actually Tim Shanoski starts to go around and he loses his connection. I don't think we got a caution for that either. This is bizarre. Two cars have gone around. Neither have got cautions for completely different reasons. Holloway gets bumped up to third. J.R. Shepard to fourth with that. J.R. starting to stretch away from Robinson, who is really the first one under pressure. We are another slide.
Look at Liston.
Catches it. Everybody goes around except for the 24. Austin Belkey brings out the first caution as he unfortunately runs into Liston.
Wow, he almost had it saved.
Would have been a monster moment there for Liston. We're going to watch Belkey's perspective here on the replay. All right, we got the replay spooled up. This is heading through 1 and 2. You can already see the smoke. He's trying to pick his way around, and just as the 87 catches it, that's exactly where the 24 wanted to be. All right, so let's see Liston's point of view. That rear started to come out as soon as he turned in.
Yeah, I know. As I was watching these guys in practice, they were getting loose on entry too. So, it could have something to do with those colder tires. You know, on lap 11, there should be some heat in them, but maybe he pushed a little bit too hard coming in right off the jump, and it just whipped around on him. But wow, he almost saved it.
Wonder, do we have enough time to go look at Brad Speidel's moments? Let's take a look at that replay. It was the reverse here for the number 5. It's the same corner down into 1 and 2. Looks like we might need to back up a little more here because he's already behind. There we go. Except in this case, instead of trying to catch the car and snapping it back, it just completely goes around.
It's gonna be tough to handle these cars here tonight. It's just this is one of those tracks, and it looks like Shanoski is gone for the night, so that's gonna be a tough hit.
That was truly bizarre, as it looks like we're gonna go double file now, so we're getting ready to restart because Shanoski started to spin. Everybody tried to take avoiding action, and then before they could manage to hit him, he just disappeared.
And an interesting topic, this is crazy. We talked about James Lowe in the rough race that he had last week. This guy started 17th, and he's already up to 8th as we go back green.
Yep, and Morton with another great start, but this time Mike Holloway down below Lowell Jewell, who's stuck on the high side, having started in second. It looks like Holloway might manage to sneak into P2, and he's got it done. In fact, Lowell Jewell's not done with his woes because J.R. Shepard is going to follow him through, making sure to keep touch with that bright yellow and red 31. Down below, yet another car in the mix, and it's Donnie Moore, the old rival to the 98.
Wow, these guys are just holding. I'm surprised to see how well Lowell Jewell and James Lowe both are holding out on the outside. As much as little room as they have up there, and they're doing a great job of holding it.
And eventually he's going to have to give it up, so Moore moves himself into 4th place. Finally he finds a hole and slots in front of Robbie Robinson. Can't say the same for Lowe. The 99 still stuck on the high side of Mike Allen, fighting for what is 7th place, and finally he does it. Ooh, almost a little touch, though, on Robinson ahead of him.
That is almost the first Chrome Horn of the night.
By the way, Liston did get back out. He's in 12th place. And Belke is in 17th, the last on the field right now. In fact, Belke is way behind, even though, well, I was going to say he's on the lead lap. No, he is not. He's a lap down and actually about to go another lap down.
That's really unfortunate, because he looked like he could be quick in practice here, too, and then he just caught a bad break there, it looks like.
Ooh. Ruben Altice in a side-by-side bit of action with Mike Allen. This is for 8th place, and I think the number 11 is going to be able to get by. Oh, but Allen comes together. That's with Bruce Pearson.
Oh, a big checkup.
Sideways across the track, and everybody behind couldn't do much to try and avoid that one. Let's watch it from above. It looked to me like Allen thought maybe he could get back down in line, and by the time he tried that, the 96 was already there. Yep, he shut the door way too late. Ooh, was that Jewel sneaking through in the middle? Trying to figure out if that's much from on board here. Going to see it start to unfold in front of him. At least I thought it was Lowell. Oh. It looks like we got that wrong. I'm trying to figure out.
It might be John Hine.
No, it was Segala. It was Joe Segala who made the beautiful avoidance, just split in the middle. I think we still got it here. Here we go. It's the 81. He looks a little bit similar to Lowell's car from some angles. Just green instead of a blue. Sees them racing side by side up there. I think it's going to be the next corner. Yes, indeed. There goes Pearson. Woo! And that's the moment where you try to figure out which way to go, and he just splits in the middle. Yeah.
Excellent awareness by Joe Segala there. That was awesome.
So that gives him 9th place by managing that. Up at the front, it's still Morton leading. Holloway's now in 2nd. Shepard is in 3rd. Moore in 4th, as I think we go double file now.
Cue the shark music, because that 99 is coming.
Yeah, I get the feeling that it's going to be difficult to keep both the 98 and the 99 back. Going to restart on lap 29. We're already past a quarter of the way through. A horrible start from the 31. This checks up Donnie Moore as well as the 99. So I think this might gift 2nd place to J.R. Shepard, but he's got to complete the pass. He's making him work for it. Holloway gripping that outside. I think he's going to eventually have to give up the ghost, and indeed Shepard now solidly into 2nd place. Now Donnie Moore, despite being checked up by that poor start, has gotten below him. It's all going awry for the number 31.
Mr.
Finally,
Consistency found his way to the bottom. Yeah, that's been his thing. He rides and rides and rides, and he does a really good job of keeping the car clean. I think he was the only one with the clean car last week, and managed to bring it home 3rd. So.
Meanwhile, old Jules now has James Lowe on the attack, but that high side isn't working for many, and it doesn't work for the 99, because eventually he comes back down into the racing line. But now he's going to look underneath as he tries to get the shot off the corner, but there's not enough of a gap there.
Yes, it'd be interesting. I wonder if these guys will maybe get single file here pretty quick. You know, lap 35.
Ooh, he's got it in. There's a nose in for James Lowe. That's not what Lowell Jewell wanted, because this looks like even within a couple corners, he's already going to complete it. And unfortunately for Lowell, already Robbie Robinson trying to poke his nose in and continue the freight train as they almost come together. Robinson backs out of it to save both their cars.
That was good, great awareness, and it looks like that's going to actually cost him. Ruben Altice is going to be, or Segala is going to be right there to take that spot away from Robinson also.
He's down to the inside, but he's not quite there. Still a little bit of work to do to complete the pass. The 81 with the nose ahead this time, and he's fully gone. So Lowe moves up to 5th with that overtake. But he still hasn't caught Justin Morton, who has been caught, but it's by the 98.
Oh, this is going to be a good battle. This, you know, J.R. Shepherd every week, you know, he's always in the mix, and he is not going to lay down quickly.
So watch from on board the dash of J.R. Shepherd. He knows how to conserve these tires too. It's not just that he is quick. He knows how to wait patiently. And he's certainly putting some pressure on the number 9. He's keeping right underneath that rear bumper. And Justin has to know that if he finds himself making a mistake, the 98 could easily get a nose in.
Now, Justin is riding momentum from the modified race prior to this, so he knows how to get around this place really, really good. And J.R. Shepherd's going to have to know that when he sticks his nose in there. He don't want to do it too early, because I think Morton will make him pay.
So I'm noticing we lost John Hine, and I'm not sure why. He's been in the pits for about 4.5 minutes, so we'll have to look at that a little bit later to try and figure out what caused him to DNF. And here we go. J.R. Shepherd manages to get a nose in. Somehow he finds the throttle off the corner and gets the grip. This could mean that he's got the lead, and indeed, Morton's going to give it up. He lets him through. Your new leader, the number 98.
Yeah, it looked like Morton might have gave that up a little too easy. He's looking towards the future, though. He was not ready to battle J.R. Shepherd right now.
A little bit more action behind them as well. Donnie Moore may have gotten... Donnie Moore gets tipped around just as we look at it. Caution is out. The 31 gets involved. A little bit of contact with James Lowe, but he sneaks through into 3rd place.
You get the chrome horn. You get the chrome horn. There it is.
Let's look at the replay on this one. If anything, Lowe kind of helped make this one a little bit worse, it seems, because the 31 had control of things after the initial tip, and then unfortunately James Lowe couldn't get it slowed up in time. That shoves into the back of the 31. We're going to watch from James's perspective. Yeah, he took a good hit, but this isn't really an aero-sensitive track, so should be able to get away with it.
Yeah, it looks like the nose on that 99 car is pretty messed up too. Thankfully, like you said, it's not an aero-sensitive track, so he should be able to keep it down, keep the power down. He should be okay. Especially James Lowe.
So we've had a few drivers have to come in and take their free car. I think Liston was one of them, Belkey as well. So he had a very short stop. Kurt Smith coming in. Now, why is he in? Must have hit something because he's got some damage. Doesn't look like a lot, though, so I'd be surprised if he took the spare car just for this.
Yeah, it looks like... What? He didn't. Maybe he was
just
getting
repairs, I think.
Fixed. But, I mean, aero isn't going to be much here, so there had to be a little bit going on there.
Yeah, I wonder if maybe just a little bit of damage to the suspension he wasn't quite happy with. Felt the car was pushing a little. Maybe he wanted that fixed, but we're going double file. We're going to get restarted. Your order this time, Shepard at the front, Morton in second, the undesirable place so far tonight. Lowe will be in third. Let's see if he can sneak in a second with this restart. And Lowell Jewell, amazingly, even though he's been passed by quite a few drivers, is still in this thing in fourth place. Green flag is out. Once again, a little bit of a checkup on the high line, but Morton proving he's great at these restarts. He's holding on a lot better than everybody else. Looking for a gap. He might have it here if he wants to send it down in. He tries to close up the hole. And
he better close it up a lot quicker than that, because if he doesn't, James Lowe is going to make him pay for that. And he gets down there. That's lucky break on good thinking on his point.
So top three of Linus Stern already. Lowell Jewell, unfortunately, was under attack from Segala, who just takes fourth place away. And then behind them, our first side-by-side action between the 11 of Altice and 56 of Robinson. They're being watched carefully by Todd Liston. 87 keeps his chips on the low side, feeling that's the safer bet. So far, so good. Wow, behind them, that was deep into the corner from Jeffrey Harden. Thankfully didn't run into them, but he's in a hurry to get somewhere.
He's coming to the front. He's not messing around tonight. He's ready to go.
Jeffrey Harden currently runs in 9th after starting this race in 18th. So he has a lot of ground to make up in that 44 machine. He's currently just watching Liston and Robinson try to sort out this battle for what is 7th place in front of him. Eventually he can get involved. Taking a long time to sort this out. You know, we said we didn't... Oh, we got a caution. This is the 07 of Shinosky, who is many laps down. Oh, this started in front of him, actually. Oh, this is that Allen? Yes, it is. Mike Allen. Allen was on the high side of Speidel. Brad, unfortunately, tips the left rear quarter panel. That's Allen in the orange and white machine. That's Speidel in the red, white, and blue. Gets him turned around. Everybody checks up, and then, unfortunately for the 07, Shinosky basically gets the worst of it. We'll watch the 24's perspective.
Austin Belkey with another grab your seat pants kind of ride there. He had to check up again for another incident. He did a great job of staying out of that one.
Yeah, no damage whatsoever. Belkey, though, unfortunately, still in P15 after that, so he's well down the racing order. But we're past halfway at this point. We got another caution, but the drivers have had some good action. I am mightily impressed with the 9's restarts. He has figured something out that a lot of the other drivers haven't seemed to, which is how to really keep an eye on the driver next to you and not get caught out when we go to green from second place. I believe we've got J.R. Shepard ready to talk to us. I think we've got enough laps here. Yeah, it looks like we got J.R. in the booth here for the moment. J.R., you're leading the race. You had to work hard to get up there, but it looks like Morton's pretty good on those restarts.
Yeah, it's real tricky on these restarts. These things have a lot of power, and the rear tires are going away pretty quick here.
Well, let's see. Are we getting lights out this time? Yeah, it looks like we are. So we're going to let you go. Best of luck on this next restart. Not much racing left for you.
All right, thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
So that was J.R. Shepard, who has been fighting with Justin Morton for a good deal of this race now. That's Morton got for him. JR is aware of his restart skills. Green flag is out once again. Look at that. The 9 stays right with it. He can't get a nose ahead. He's trying to make sure and stay ahead of James Lowe, if anything. He could duck it down and chop him off, but he elects not to. Stays ahead of him. Still Lowe is going to try and keep his nose in and challenge and get that second place away. The 9 is stuck on that outside. This is allowing the 98 to start to pull away. J.R. Shepard has it up to half a second ahead. Finally, they get single file, but it is James Lowe in second and Morton in third.
Yeah, that was going to be a rough restart for all three of them, but you got to feel for J.R. Shepard. He had not only had to keep an eye on the 9 and making sure that he got a better restart there, but he also had James Lowe in his rear view, and he is not going to back down.
While it's the 11 versus the 81, Segala there in the green, white and black up on the high side. Oh, who is it? Almost looked like the 11 was getting a little loose on the front stretch, trying to get the power down. They stay side by side. This is to try and determine 5th place between them. High side really starting to prove a little bit more tricky. Drivers aren't falling back quite as quickly as we've seen in the past.
Yeah, and with 14-second laps, these guys are really going to have to sort this stuff out running double file, because they're running out of laps, and J.R. Shepard is pulling away. He's got this out to 8/10 again, and then there's no stopping this guy when he gets going.
Yeah, it certainly looks like Lowe, with his battling, was cost a lot of time, and he doesn't seem willing to use up the tires quite yet. But this side-by-side action between the 11 and the 81 is not going away. We still haven't gotten a decision on 5th place. Ooh, deep into the corner around the high side. Is Joe Segala going to make the high side work? He is. Incredible. He's still got the 11 poking his nose in, though. Thought he had him cleared. Once again, he gets fully ahead. He can duck it down to that bottom line if he wants, and he does.
Yeah, it looked like Segala just got a lot better run off the corner, and he was able to just finish it off there, and that was pretty impressive.
Down to 25 laps to go at this point. Shinosky's called it a night. Doesn't think he can get much more out of this, and he gets out of the way. So that leaves us with 16 left running, including this battle with Holloway trying to climb his way back up to the front. A big setback in our points leader, and he's not got many laps to try and get back into things. If anything, I'd say he's looking at that 8th position to get that regrid now.
Yeah, Mr. Consistent is just really stuck on that outside, and Bruce Pearson's not making it easy on him. This has been a battle for a good 10 laps, and interesting to see how it's going to sort out.
This might give away that points lead. I haven't missed anything up at the front. This is where the action is, because Shepard, Lowe, and Morton are well spread out. Holloway loses out to Pearson, but also to the 24 of Belkey. Watching from Belkey's perspective. Surprised that Holloway couldn't find an opening.
Yeah, he's stuck on the outside of there, Belkey, and I think Brad Spidle's also going to get by here. And there's just no room for Mike Holloway to get down. It's really unfortunate.
He really doesn't want the 24 to get by, because if he does, he's got Spidle, Liston, Smith all back there ready to send him to the very back, but he gets tipped around and caution is out. Was that netcode? Looks like it was, unfortunately. Oh, you know what? It looks like Spidle got into the back of Belkey, and I think that's what caused the netcode, because the server seems to have thought that Belkey would have shot much farther up the track. That's what's made the 31's day even worse now. That puts him in 16th. He is literally the last car running at this point.
Yeah, with 16 laps left, 15, it should be 14 when we get green here. It's going to be hard to climb back up there, and he's more than likely going to lose that points lead tonight. That's very unfortunate, because he's been the most consistent in this series.
Yeah, these championship runs require you to really be almost flawless out there, at least in seasons past. A little bit more jumbled up this time, of course. we wait for them to get the lights off on the pace car. In fact, the 31 went a lap down because Shepard got by, and I don't think they're going to give him the lap back. In fact, he's being sent to the back of the line, so Holloway, highly unlikely to finish anywhere but 16th today. Oh my goodness. It just keeps getting worse.
Yeah, tough break for Mr. Consistency, and you hate to see that. We hope for the best for next week. That really sucks.
All right, so Shepard, Lowe, Morton have been our 3 quickest drivers, but don't count out the dark horse of Lowell Jewell. Could he maybe snatch something away if all the drivers in front of him start to tangle in these last few laps? The pressure is on because there's not much time to make something happen. Waiting for the green flag. Pace car is in. Green is out. What kind of start can Morton get? It's a good one. He's got the desired inside of James Lowe. And very quickly manages to complete the pass before they're even done with the first lap back to green. Does he now set off against Shepard? He can't because we had a spin from Jeffrey Harden. Looks like Belke got into his left rear. Belke got caught up, but really the only driver who got the bad end of the stick is Jeffrey Harden. He goes completely around. Once he got tips, that was it. Was not going to save that thing. Okay, down to 10 laps to go. And I believe we will be restarting, I want to say with 7 or 8 left.
And we saw on that last restart, it doesn't matter where Justin Morton lines up. He's going to get a good restart, and that's going to be the deciding factor here, I believe.
So can he do anything with it other than fend off James Lowe? He's going to be on the high side now. That's the problem. Last time it was on the low side where he could keep the desired bottom line away from the 99. Not sure how he's going to do that this time. Waiting for the lights to go off one more time as we take a glance at Brad Speidel in 9th place. 10th place, rather.
And it's worth noting Mike Holloway got that lap back, so he's going to get a chance to lessen the pain of that points loss there.
All right, so the lucky dog comes back to save Holloway, but I don't know how many spots he can get from 15th with only, let's see, we're going to be restarting with 6 to go even. So, as the number 9, who at one point was leading this race, snatched it away from Lowell Jewell at the very drop of the green. Can he do the same to a very fast J.R. Shepard? Green flag is out. He gets a decent start. He can duck low if he wants to. Does he try and solidify that? He does not quite. Now he gets in line. So Lowe loses his opportunity. Bit of a connection issue there with the number 98, which certainly doesn't bode well. Behind them, some side-by-side action between Jewell and Segala. They almost come together, but they get out the other side.
Oh, no.
Oh, and another caution. This is Donnie Moore. And does this end the race? I think this does.
Donnie Moore and Kurt Smith. That was just. I think it was just a racing incident there. You didn't check up quite enough.
Yeah, Kurt Smith in the number 6. You can see him in the Valvoline machine. Donnie Moore's going awful slow on that high side, though. Not sure. Let's back up a little bit more here and see. Maybe he just gets loose on entry and has to catch it. So that's why he was slow. Let's watch Donnie real quick, and then we got to come back soon because I believe Shepard's going to get the checkered flag pretty quick here. Yeah, you can see the car sliding there from the onboard. So we come back live. We have gotten the white flag, and the number 98 is going to be victorious for the third time this season. He's also likely going to take the points lead because Holloway is well at the back. He's still in 15th. And James Lowe, who was a few points ahead of him coming into it, is finishing third. Checkered flag. Victory goes to J.R. Shepard as the fireworks start to go off. Here at Lanier Speedway, we're not done with the show yet. We're going to come back with the unofficial results as well as driver interviews. Stick around because on screen you'll see all the upcoming races here on GSRC. Back to Lanier National Speedway. J.R. Shepard was our winner here today. Came from 7th on the grid. That regrid didn't seem to stop him. He quickly got up to the front and wouldn't let Justin Morton hold him back. Morton did wind up in 2nd, and his restarts are certainly a threat, though, to J.R. as he's been keeping them in check every single time they get a green. James Lowe wound up going from 17th to 3rd. So that'll certainly help him in the points as well. Lowell Jewell, even though he started on the pole, just wasn't fast enough, but at least consistent enough to get a top 4 today. Joe Segala with a 5th place and Ruben Altice in P6. Robbie Robinson, 7th from him with Bruce Pearson in P8. And then you got Brad Speidel, the last one to not be, or the first one to not be regrid. Bruce Pearson will be on the pole next week with Austin Belke winding up in 10th.
Yeah, Mike Allen coming in 11th. Todd Liston, after a strong performance last week, was just couldn't get it done tonight. Jeffrey Harden in 12th. Kurt Smith in 13th, Mike Holloway, Mr. Consistency. I feel bad for this guy. I know I've said that a lot tonight, but I feel really bad for this guy. Donnie Moore in 16th, Tim Shinosky in 17th, and John Hine rounding out the field in 18th.
We're still waiting on our winner to come join us, so let's see. Oh, no, we've got him in here. So J.R. Shepard snuck in when I wasn't looking. JR, getting to talk to you for the second time. It seemed like at the end you were just getting a whole lot of yellows and making life a bit of a headache to try and keep Justin behind you.
Yeah, I was not happy about all the yellows. It was not what I wanted. Yeah, every time we had a restart, my car would take a couple of laps to really come in, and I was trying to be easy with the rear tires and not burn them off those first couple of laps. So I knew I was pretty vulnerable there with James Lowell and Justin Morton behind me.
We had an odd situation coming into this race where Holloway hadn't won, but he was leading the points. With this being your third win, I don't know exactly if you were able to get ahead of Lowe, but this makes you the winningest driver thus far in the first 5 races. Does that encourage you?
Yeah, it's cool for a new series that the Bootleg Racing League is running this season. So it's fun to be able to adapt to a new car, and these things are challenging. They've got a lot of power, and we're running on some tight short tracks, so it's a handful. But it's still a long season, and we'll just have to see how things go.
From a tiny third miler to a half miler, which has quite a bit of banking at New Smyrna, can you repeat the feat and get win number 4?
It's possible. Looks like we're probably going to be inverted and have to start back in 8th spot. So it just depends how the first 50 laps go, and you got to save tires in these things, otherwise you won't have any grip at the end. So we'll look forward to next week. It's a fun track, and hopefully we can do the same.
All right. Well, congratulations, JR. Anybody you'd like to thank before you go?
Yeah, definitely the Bootleg Racing League for putting this on, and the Cruise Shop for being a great partner with our series, and of course to GSRC and you guys for doing the great broadcast each and every week. You guys you make us look a lot better than I think we are.
Thank you very much. That's J.R. Shepard, our winner here today for round 5. Up next, Jeff has caught up with Justin Morton, who was the one threatening JR all race long.
Justin Morton, you did a great job tonight trying to hold off J.R. Shepard and eventually trying to catch J.R. Shepard. How did you feel tonight knowing that he was right there in your rear view?
Yeah, it felt pretty good. He has so much more experience racing just in general, and feels pretty good to be able to keep up with him.
We saw your restarts really be what kept you up front, and this whole time you did a great job. We were really, really excited up here in the booth watching that. Did you find something there early in the race that kind of helped you out? You could get started on the high side or the low side, which is awesome to me.
Yeah, I don't know if I really found anything different. I just maybe rolled on the gas a little bit better. On that initial start, I was so surprised when I got in front of Lowell going into 1.
Great job tonight, man. Just great job. Hey, going into New Smyrna next week, how do you feel about that? You got a little bit more banking, and it could get a little bit more racing. Maybe a line?
Yeah, hopefully we get 2 lines going. It really makes the racing fun whenever you can make ground back up, get around somebody without having to move them or something.
Absolutely. We really enjoy it up here in the booth. Hey, you got anybody you would like to thank tonight?
Thank Cruise Shop sponsoring us at Skinner Creek, TDR for letting me join the team. Yeah, that's about it. Thank you guys for doing the broadcast.
Hey, we thank you, and good luck next week.
Thank you.
That was second place finisher Justin Morton. Certainly has made a splash coming in here. Third place finisher James Lowe really had an uphill climb from second to last on the grid, James, and you managed to finish on the podium. That's got to be a bit of a relief, if anything.
Yeah, I didn't know exactly what to expect coming into tonight. My gut was telling me I was going to wind up on the record, but we managed to squeeze our way through there and make it up there to third.
So once you managed to get up with Morton and Shepard, it seemed like a bit of a back and forth where you didn't really want to be in second place because of the restarts.
Well, after that contact I got on that one caution there, my car was just a little bit too tight. So I was trying hard, but I really didn't have nothing for him, but I was trying my best.
Well, your best wound up getting you a fair amount of points. I was talking to JR about how I'm not sure if this means you or he will be on the top of the championship roster after this, but it's going to be tight now that Holloway has fallen to the back. Do you think you can beat JR to the crown at the end of 13 rounds? Or 11 rounds, rather?
Well, it's a long season. We'll have to see how it goes. So far, we've been pretty fortunate, but we'll just have to wait and see.
All right. Well, 2 wins and then another podium now in your lap. Anybody you'd like to thank?
Yeah, just thank the cruise shop and you guys for broadcasting and Lowell Jewel for putting all this on and everybody out there watching.
Well, thank you very much. That was our third place finisher, James Lowe. As I said, really doing an impressive job getting from 17th to 3rd in 100 laps. And we've got to thank a few people because we're going to close up. First of all, our sponsor for this series, the Cruise Shop. You can catch them at 260-755-6125 or online at thecruiseshopfw.com. Also, thanks to the Bootleg Racing League for bringing us back for another season of coverage, and thanks to the companies that provide the software and the hardware for our broadcast listed here on your screen. Additional thanks go to June Lalonde, who provides our wonderful music. See the screen for how to get hold of more of her great work. And thanks to the team today, Jeff, Sean, and Dougie. If you'd like to find out more about GSRC, including upcoming races, you can find it at globalsimracingchannel.com. Or you can check out our social media on Twitter, with it being at GSR Channel, Facebook as Global Sim Racing Channel, and Instagram GSRC_Graham. If you'd like to support GSRC, we've got a merch store where you can find it at gsrc.storenvy.com or just simply in the description below. Make sure and subscribe to GSRC as well. Just below the YouTube video, there's going to be a big red button that says subscribe. Click it and you won't miss a moment. As we mentioned, a week from now, New Smyrna is going to be the next race. That'll be Saturday, February 8th at 8:50 p.m. Eastern, but we have upcoming races for other series listed on the screen. So check those out and mark them down on your calendar. And until next time, race clean, race hard. We'll see you on the track.